And good afternoon. It is Sunday, January, February 25th, 2018. We are the Bitter Knitters. This is the TV Attack Edition. My name is Jacqueline, and Justin is here.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty
Are
good.
you trying to travel us back in time to January already? We're almost in March.
Yeah, I want more Dr. Sean Murphy.
Yeah, is he on this week? Oh, figure out. I feel like everything's coming back now that the Olympics are ending tonight, or have technically ended already. So yay. We have some news stories, and we'll talk about some shows. Our first couple of news stories will go by quickly. They're actually a couple weeks old now, which I wanted to talk about last week, but we didn't do a show. Our first one, a few weeks ago, I think the last time we did a show, we talked about Ryan Murphy and how he seems to be doing a lot more Netflix. Well, like a day or two after we said that, they announced that he was making a deal with Netflix where he will be producing shows for Netflix in the next 5 years, and he could possibly get up to $300 million out of this deal, which is insane.
What a crazy deal. Like Fox or FX, whatever he was with, definitely dropped the ball there. Let him go. Because his shows are immensely popular.
Yeah, are very popular. I mean, his shows technically are still going to be going on with the existing shows. What I'm interested in seeing how his involvement in each of those shows, Crime Story, Horror Story, 911, all those, if they're going to change or how much he was in it to begin with. Eventually, if FX and Fox will start phasing out those shows since they're not going to be making anything new with Ryan Murphy, it'll be curious to see what happens in the next few years. And it sounds like he was kind of nervous about the whole Disney deal. And I think that's one reason why he made this move, because he wasn't quite sure.
Because Disney was maybe going to try to hedge him in and he can't be tamed, or?
I think a lot of it was he wasn't quite sure if he was going to be able to keep his full creative control, which he has right now.
Right.
And I think it seems like he was kind of nervous about if he was going to be able to keep that. And I don't know. I mean, if I were Disney,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. If I were Disney, though, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But so that'll be interesting to see what kind of shows we've already talked about 2 shows he's already developing for Netflix. So it'd be interesting to see what else he will create in the next 5 years. And I think the 5 years begins, I believe it's July.
Well, he definitely comes up with some creative ideas that, aren't the same old schlop. So
yeah, even going back to like Nip Tuck and Glee and even Popular, he's always been a little different, and his shows for the most part are usually pretty interesting. He can crash and burn after a while, but there's always like a little like genius part.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going after people like that, though, because earlier last year they got Shonda Rhimes. Netflix did.
Yes.
So
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I did too until this story came out. I'm like, wait, did I miss that? But yeah, Shonda Rhimes is going to be working for Netflix too. So they're definitely trying to compete against the networks and trying to like take their talent, which I think is kind of fascinating.
That's smart.
Yeah. Oh, very. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. The other story that I thought was fairly big that we never got a chance to talk about was the CW. Now, when the CW started broadcasting, when the WB and UPN merged, they've traditionally have only had programs Mondays through Fridays, and they've only had 2 hours a night. So that's only 10 hours of programming a week. So there's only so much that they can air. And I feel like in the last couple of years, their schedules have been taken over by nothing but superhero shows. A couple weeks ago, which get a little more variety. CW, come on. CW announced that starting this fall, they are going to officially start programming Sunday night too. So now they're going to get 12 hours a week and 6 nights of programming, which I think bodes well for a pickup of Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yay! Can I ask a question? We don't have the CW here. Those shows air on other stations and stuff.
Yes.
What do they air
Mainly
when?
Netflix.
No. Like, what do they air like when they're not showing their primetime shows? What would it be?
A lot. It's
like almost shows, like repeats, or movies.
Almost like a local affiliate type thing. So it would be So like it depends on whatever shows that local affiliate picks up for syndication. So like later in the day, earlier in the day, it might be, depending on the station throughout the country, it might be reruns of Big Bang Theory. It might be reruns of whatever is currently in certain syndication. Daytime, they
Okay.
might be doing other syndicated shows like Judge Judy, Jerry Springer, that type of stuff. So it's all pretty much
Okay.
syndication. And then the CW has those 2 hours every night, except Saturdays. And that's how it works. So it's usually just like one of those like syndicated channels. So it'll be interesting. So yeah, I do think that we'll see, because with only 10 hours of programming, I don't know if they would be able to fit in like Jane and Crazy X. But I feel like Crazy X would have been fairly safe because all they're asking for is one more season.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it must have enough of a niche following that, you know,
And I
it
think
can't be getting any worse numbers than like Arrow or some shit.
well, and one of their new shows, I think, has pretty much been canceled without being canceled yet. They had some more show called Valor, and I've seen that the actors in Valor are out for pilot season. So that's not a good sign for Valor. And also with Crazy X, it's by far their most critically acclaimed show. So
Yeah.
not giving it the final season that they asked for would be
Yeah.
kind of crappy of them to do.
Yeah, it would. It would.
All right, so another story, which actually it was from last week too, was, and we figured this would happen. Big Little Lies announced 3 more returning cast members: Shailene Woodley, Zoe Kravitz, and Laura Dern. I would have been
not
so sad if
Amabella?
Renato was not there. Amabella better be back.
Have they
Imagine if
cast
they do like
Annabella? Time
Imagine if
hop
it's like
and
a
she's an
time
adult?
jump. Yeah. We get
Yeah.
like, or teenage Amabella. Because are they going to be able to get young Sheldon? I don't know. So
They
why
might
not
have to just
time jump?
recast him.
Get like teenage Sheldon. Yeah. Yeah, they're probably
Yeah.
going to have to cast. I haven't heard anything about that. But we've already known that Reese was coming back. Nicole Kidman was coming back.
I have a
Skarsgård was going
casting
to come in.
If
in
they
that Meryl
time hop
Streep.
and
What's
age
up?
them, if they time hop and age them, they can get the Sprouse brothers to play the twin brothers of Skarsgård
Oh,
and Kidman.
God. I think I've seen enough Sprouse Brothers for a lifetime. And then are we going to get Archie to play Ziggy?
Sure.
And Barb can play Amabella?
Amabella. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid cast, and you need those 3 people back, obviously, if you're going to continue it. I mean, Zoe wasn't necessarily part of the thing, but yeah, I'm glad that they're all coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like they probably... No, maybe not. I was going to say they could have written out Shailene if she wasn't coming back, but I feel like we're going to get a lot of Ziggy stuff with Meryl Streep's character.
Yeah, I bet she's going to try to get custody of Ziggy.
Ooh. You know what? I'm not looking forward to it. The one thing that I'm looking forward to season 2 is just see like Meryl Streep like chew the scenery.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to eat up some of these. Like, I mean, like, Shailene Woodley's a fine actress. She's not a great actress. She's not going to stand the test of time on Meryl Streep. No offense, Shailene.
Oh, heck no. Heck no. Okay, so there's I try not to do a lot of like pilot casting news, but here's a couple. And just because it's so ridiculous. So this one is a Fox FBI drama from one of the producers of Empire. And it's going to be about like a controversial FBI agent. And she does like terrorism investigations.
Is this the one with Maggie from Walking Dead?
No, this is the one with Katie Holmes.
Oh God. Katie Holmes is an FBI person?
Katie Holmes as an FBI agent. Yes.
Okay.
I don't see it. I don't think that it is very good casting, but hey.
She's not a very good actress in my opinion.
No, and I can't see her as like tough as nails FBI agent. So
Yeah.
well, good for her. We'll see if her show gets picked up. But yeah, you mentioned an ABC show called Whiskey Cavalier. Whiskey Cavalier, I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah,
and it looks like Anna Ortiz and Scott Foley are cast in the pilot along with Lauren Cohan, which is very interesting because she is currently, like you were saying, Maggie in The Walking Dead, and her contract is up at the end of the season. So now everyone's like, okay, obviously they're going to write her out. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, what I read is that she asked for a lot more money and they said no, so she said bye.
Good for her. If she has that ability to negotiate with her contract being up and they're not going to give her what she wants, then good for her. I'm guessing her character will not die at the end of the season. But I would be interested to see if this does get picked up if she leaves the show, then maybe they'll bring her in for like one episode and kill her off. Because
Yeah.
she's been such a long time character that you've got to wrap up. You've got to give her some sort of end.
Maybe she's not even gonna die. Maybe she'll just be like, you know what? I'm driving away. I'm leaving.
I'm gonna be like Heath and wander the woods for 2 years.
Yeah.
I guess.
Who
I don't know.
knows?
I haven't watched Walking Dead.
But look, we saw Sasha got killed off, right, last season.
Yep.
And now she's on like Star Trek Discovery, and she's the lead.
Yeah, what was interesting about that was that the Star Trek Discovery news came out while her character was still alive on Walking Dead. So it kind of made everybody go, at the time. They're like, oh yeah, she can do both shows. And then like several months later, Sasha dies on Walking Dead. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Maggie character on Walking Dead. And it does come back tonight. I guess we find out what happens with Carl. And apparently Carl came out this week and was like, oh yeah,
he was bit last time.
He was bit last time. And I guess, I don't understand. I thought everybody hated Carl. Why is everybody so upset now that they're killing Carl? Like, Carl was an awful character. I don't know if he got better. I doubt it. His hair looked ridiculous. But that actor came out this week. It was like, oh yeah, I auditioned for Spider-Man and Han Solo. Good. I'm glad. I don't think he would have been a good either.
Young Han Solo? He actually tried to be Han Solo?
He auditioned for that movie, yeah.
He's like 14. He's not old enough to be Han Solo.
No, he's actually 18 now.
I know, but he still looks 14. But I know he wants to go to college and university. But that was the thing. Do you remember that scandal? When he got bit, his father came out and said a whole bunch of stuff about how Carl had just bought a house down there and he was going to go to university down there because he didn't know he was getting killed off until, I guess, the scene.
Yeah, which is what they do. They usually wait till like right before the script comes out to reveal to them. You're like, hey, you're dying.
Yeah. I guess he'll be on Talking Dead tonight.
I do not watch that show.
No, I know. My husband was excited that it's starting up again tonight. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, well, we'll watch the closing ceremonies. He's like, no, we're gonna watch. I'm like, you can watch Walking Dead 700 more times this week.
Oh,
they repeat it
another show.
Times.
There's another show I'll be watching from 8 to 10 tonight, and that'll be what we talk about later. Screw the Olympics. Screw Carl dying on Walking Dead. I got some Omarosa to watch. A few weeks ago, we talked about a Magnum PI reboot happening. They cast Jay Hernandez in that pilot to be Magnum PI. Now, apparently, he was in 6 episodes of Nashville playing somebody named Dante Rivas. No idea who that is. Who was Dante?
He sounds familiar. Let me Google him quickly.
You definitely have seen him in things. He's done a lot of things. He was in Suicide Squad. He was in a lot of stuff I guess I don't watch. But he's kind of been around for a while.
Oh, this guy. Okay. I know who he is.
So apparently that's Magnum PI.
He's Magnum? Okay. They're going a different way. Sure.
Yeah,
he's better looking than Tom Selleck.
I have a feeling there's going to be no mustache.
He kind of looks like Dr. Baratheon.
A little bit, yeah. He kind of does look like Dr. Baratheon from The Good Doctor. I definitely see it. Probably doesn't have a douchey Baratheon tattoo on him. Who knows, though? He might. So, yeah, apparently, I guess he's been doing Scandal. I don't know if he's still on Scandal, which is on his final season. But, yeah, he was cast in the pilot for Magnum PI. They should probably be in the middle of filming most pilots. Usually March they film a lot of them, and then we'll find out whether these shows get picked up in May during the annual upfronts.
In the upfronts, is that what they call them?
Yeah. I always like upfront week. It's always interesting. But then I always get pissed off because shows I love get canceled. But you know what's not getting canceled this year?
Oh, he's from Bad Moms. I knew that face.
Oh, you watched Bad Moms?
He's the boyfriend of. Yeah, he's the boyfriend of Mila Kunis' character.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah, the movie.
That was a TV show. Yeah, he was in Bad Moms. Was he in Bad Moms Christmas?
Yeah, he's her boyfriend.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I still don't know who his Nashville character was. One of these like random people that we saw for 6 episodes and never saw again. Vita Liam. Magical homeless singing man.
Yeah, I literally don't know who Dante Rivas is.
I'll have to look up. Yeah, I have no idea.
I know, I'm looking at the episodes to see if they mention him.
Remember Dante? I love it as like the big series finale. It's like Dante was behind it all. Ooh, he was Vita's ex-boyfriend. So yeah, there's a show that's not getting canceled this year, and that is one of our favorites, Superstore.
Yay!
It got renewed for season 4 for next year for a full 22 episode order. And I'm happy because that means we get more Sandra in our life for another
More Sandra, more Glenn. Love
Dina.
it.
You gotta love Dina too.
Dina, yeah.
So, and it'll be nice without, hopefully next year, hopefully by the end of this year, the pregnancy storyline will be over with, so we can just
get
on with it for next year. But yeah, it's fun, and I bet, and we'll probably get like Amy's like story wrapped up this year because she seems to kind of be the main story where she divorced her husband, so now her life is kind of in shambles, and she's trying to get back in on the game, and so it'll be interesting to see how the season ends, and then we get season 4 next year, and I am very excited. Yeah.
I hate that blonde girl. What's his name is
Kelly.
Jonah. Yeah.
Is her name Kelly? Oh, she's so annoying. Yeah, she's like the new character this year, and I do not like her. They should have just had him dating like Justine or something.
Oh my god.
Couple more super short stories. I guess the networks are starting to schedule their summer programs, so we're gonna have a horrible sounding program from CBS this summer, brought to us by Mark Burnett, where they're describing it as obstacle course meets dodgeball. So it kind of sounds like Ninja Warrior or Wipeout, but while they're on the course, their competition gets to hurl balls at them.
Or American Gladiators. Remember they used to shoot balls at people while they ran through an obstacle course?
Oh, on American Gladiators?
American Gladiators, that's what it was called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When the super steroid gladiators like at that top of the podium, they have to like run.
Yeah, and they shoot those like Nerf balls at people.
Yeah, and then they had to go and they had their own gun and they had to shoot the target above the gladiator. Yeah, that was a cool game. I like that one. Yeah, so this not a very original idea. It's gonna be called TKO. It'll be on 10 episodes this summer, and at least it's not a Jesus-y series from him, which is coming.
I found out who Dante Rivas is.
Who's Dante Rivas? Am I gonna remember them?
So he was Juliet's mom's sober coach, and he was boning her, and then he ended up making out with Juliet too. Remember?
Oh yeah, the
and
sober
coach. $10 million for the sex tape. Remember?
I do. I don't remember the sex tape part, but I definitely remember the sober coach. So he wasn't like a musician.
Yeah.
He was the
No.
Oh, okay.
There we go. And now he's Magnum.
Maybe she'll meet him again in Bolivia.
Maybe.
So we all know that next year, 2019, Disney's trying to launch their own streaming service. They've already announced that they want to have TV shows based on Star Wars, an original show based on Monsters, Inc., and an original show based on the High School Musical world to get people to subscribe to their...
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
Mrs.
And in my own little world... What's that?
A Mrs. Darbish show.
Oh, yes. The Miss Darbish show was supposed to happen like years ago. And I guess I still think she needs to be kind of a part of the revival. Have Miss Darbish and Troy's dad like train like new basketball players and drama singers. And there's our show right there. But they've also announced this week that they're looking at bringing a Muppet show. Yay, which
that'll be nice
excited.
For you.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And probably I'm the only one excited about that. A couple of years ago, they had that Muppets reboot show, which I thought was kind of funny. A lot of people were kind of turned off with the approach that they took on, claiming it was too adult. Yeah, I didn't really see how. I mean, great. Yeah, we saw the Muppets living their life.
Was it on at like 9 o'clock at night or 9:30 too? Like it's not a kid show. It's late night.
It was on at a weird time. And I didn't think it was as adult as people claiming.
No.
I mean, there were like jokes here and
jokes
there.
That would go over little kids' heads, yeah.
And they had innuendo jokes, but like I thought it was really well done. They always had
those though.
Oh, it's always been, yeah. And I hate when they try to take franchises and completely neuter them and get them away from like what they were supposed to be. Yeah. I think Jim Henson probably would have liked that show. But I the only thing I'm afraid of is that that's what they're going to do, is that they're going to totally neuter the Muppets, go at a way too young age.
Go right back to the same shit, yeah.
Yeah, which isn't what the Muppets are supposed to be. They're supposed to be an all ages, slightly skewed a little older. So I'm interested to see how they'll go with that. But between a High School Musical show and a Muppet show, give me I will give you my money to see. or I'll just go online and watch it, but I'll probably pay for it.
That's what I was about to say. I'm going to watch it illegally online.
So those are our stories. So let's go ahead and talk about our shows. Since we've talked about it already in terms of Dante, let's start with Nashville, which had its mid-season finale this week. And I just found out today that it is coming back June 7th for its final 8 episodes.
Aww.
And you knew
sad and happy at the same time.
Yeah. It kind of needs to go to Scarlett's horse farm and just get put out of its misery.
Put to pasture.
But at the same time, it's just so like ridiculous that I kind of can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
And you knew this was like a serious like mid-season finale episode when they had 3 like musical montages going on. Not just at the end of the episode, they were all throughout the episode. Like as many musical montages in this episode as we can. So yeah, and everyone except Juliet pretty much has their own little story going on. Julia is still once again in Bolivia. She can stay there for all I'm concerned, but apparently she's going to come back, and they've cast somebody for the last 8 episodes that's going to be a member of that organization. So we're going to see more of the cult, which kind of stinks. But then they also cast somebody to play Deacon's dad. That's what we need.
Deacon's dad's going to show up.
Yep. Yep. Maybe that'll be an excuse to get more Beverly's ghost.
Oh my gosh, maybe.
So yeah.
No, I was just gonna say like the Deacon storyline kind of annoyed me this week.
The Deacon storyline was pretty ridiculous. So he's dating Jesse. Jesse has a 13-year-old son and an ex-husband, Brad Maitland. And he is like the biggest douche to have ever douched. This guy is like a total jerk. And he wants to send his son off to boarding school. Jesse's very upset about this. The son is upset. He doesn't want to do this. I guess he's not really putting himself forward as much as he should. So Brad does not like that.
He didn't do a couple of homework assignments. So it's like boarding school.
Yeah, you didn't do homework, boarding school. And also because of his little rap from 2 weeks ago. That rat, he's like, oh my God, that kid's getting into rap, boarding school. And so he comes to pick him up. He doesn't want to leave his room. Jesse finally gets him out of his room, and Brad says something to his son, and his son, I think Jake, says, "Shut up! What'd you say? Shut up!" And so this turned into a big thing where he goes back to his room. They try to get him out of his room. The whole time we see Deacon just sitting there going, "Oh no!" And then we see him. Brad taking his son, looks like he's about to like push his son.
He grabs him by like the collar.
Grab him by the collar. And so then all of a sudden here comes Deacon out of nowhere and pins Brad up against the wall. And
but Brad's what he did was he kind of just took his arm, twisted his arm behind his back and put him against the wall to calm down. I don't really consider that assault.
I don't think so. I wouldn't either. I think it technically could be considered assault. I don't think he did anything wrong, honestly. Because he was trying to defuse the situation.
It looked like he was getting violent with his son. He was helping a little boy.
He was protecting Jake. And I think ultimately that's what's gonna come around and come out. But I think Brad's already been shown that he can kind of lie and twist the
and we already know the history of Deacon as being a psycho rage monster.
So he's going to use that to his advantage. He's going to use that to his advantage. Didn't they keep even this episode? In this whole season, they kept trying to like stress that he made Jesse look really bad over in the custody case. And so he's going to find his way to make Deacon look like the worst human ever, even though Deacon. I think it was dumb of Deacon to do what he did, but he didn't do it.
That was the most restrained he's ever been. Like, remember when he went crazy when when Maddie tried to emancipate herself and stuff?
Yes, that rage monster could have gone so much further. So it was pretty subdued for him. But because it was Brad is going to get his revenge in the courtroom. And you know how else he's going to get his revenge? With Daphne.
Yes.
Because
that's what I think is going to happen. He's going to be like, I'll let Jake stay home from boarding school and I won't press charges, but you got to keep Daphne in this contest. And he's going to definitely like groom Daphne to like, not to like sexually exploit her, but he's going to groom her to like, go against her dad.
Yes. Yeah, and we got a lot of Daphne this week. So she went against she wanted to make an EP. Deacon's like, the world's not ready yet. We're not ready. You're young. And she's like, well, I'm going to go audition for this stupid looking reality show that Brad Maitland is involved with. So she meets.
I loved her song. Daphne is such a good little singer.
Her song was really nice. And my new favorite character of the season was like the German producer lady, Ilsa. Love her.
Yeah, what does she know about country music?
I have no idea, but I love her. And then so she does her piano work. Brad and some other blonde woman comes in, and Brad's like, you know who that is? That's Raina James's daughter. And so he definitely has her eye on Daphne and doing something with Daphne in her career, and probably to undercut Deacon and all this stuff. And then what I thought was the most ridiculous scene, they all come back a day later in this lobby, and the German lady's like, okay, like 500 of you auditioned. I'm only calling 3 names.
Yeah, I know. That was harder than American Idol.
And the first guy was just like super hairy, gross-looking hipster dude in a hat. I'm like, ew. And then, of course, you had the black girl second. And then, of course, Daphne gets called. So she moves on to the next. Right. After getting Deacon's, the next round. After getting Deacon's approval, I'm glad that she finally came out and was like, look, I did do this. Because I was kind of afraid that secret would go on forever.
That Maddie was kind of like, like Maddie's been there, and now she's becoming an adult, and she kind of understood where Daphne was coming from, and she kind of played that, that kind of Switzerland role and tried to smooth things out and, help them.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of Maddie.
No, but when she was there, I thought that was good.
I did like her role this week. I did like what she was there to do, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Because she knows exactly. She wants to make music, and they kept saying, not yet, not yet, not yet.
Yeah, so she's been, exactly. But I thought it was kind of disingenuous when she was like, we can make music together.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and Daphne was like, you've got your own career at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So, Daphne was like, bitch, we can't make music
together.
I
hope going into the last 8 episodes, we see more Ilsa. I love Ilsa.
Yes.
The fact that I actually know her name already is amazing because I don't even know.
I did not know her name.
I barely knew Jake's name.
I know.
And
I barely know Jesse's name.
The blonde lady that Deacon's boning. We also got Scarlett back at the horse ranch after a week without Scarlett, which was the greatest week ever. Mm-hmm. And the main horse lady is getting concerned that she's getting closer and closer to her nephew or whatever that kid is.
Yeah, this is the thing, Scarlett. What's wrong with you? This guy has all kinds of problems, and it's not to say you can't be nice to him, but she's constantly trying to fix him. You're not a psychologist. You're not a professional.
Well, he even called that out at one point. He's like, please don't fix me or something to that extent.
She's she's one of those women that are always trying to fix broken men.
Yeah, and this is the guy that has had friends die. He's been in the military. He's obviously got PTSD. He's got anxiety.
Severe mental issues right now.
Yeah, and she's got him to go out in public. But, of course, in order for him to make himself feel uncomfortable or to make himself comfortable in public, he showed up completely wasted.
Yeah.
In order to get himself comfortable. It was like, congrats, Scarlett. You are making the situation
I know. Worse. And then the loud noises and everything scared him, freaked him out, understandably.
Yeah.
I did like his song that he sang in the barn, though. I thought he has a nice voice, too.
Yeah, that was a nice song. So he sings a song to Scarlett in the barn. Horse lady comes and she almost smiles. Almost. Yeah. And then at the end, though, pissed me off. Yeah. And then Scarlett kind of pissed me off. She's like, that song's amazing. Everyone's going to want to hear that. And he's like, well, I don't know if I'm ready, if I'm comfortable with that. And she's like, you don't have a choice.
I know. This is the same girl that's not making music because...
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about it that way.
Stage fright. Right? Bitch, you're such a hypocrite, Scarlett.
Such a hypocrite.
Fuck off. Go die in a barn fire.
I want the horse to trample.
Not the actress.
I want a horse to trample.
Not that I like the actress. Yes. Ridden by the old lady.
Yes. Yeah. And her hair still looks stupid. And then we get the Last Highways. Is that what they're calling themselves now? The band?
Yeah, the Last Highways.
Oh my God. Avery, Gunnar, Will, and the girl. I don't know her name.
Alana? Alana?
Alana. That's her name. Yeah, it's Alana. And we get Bucky coming in and being like, the Chew wants you, the Chew wants you. And they're like, oh my God, the Chew. But they want Alana to sing both songs. And of course, Will goes insane.
Had a hissy fit.
And so I like what Alana did. Alana went out to Bucky, and to be a team player, she's like, look, I will agree to do this, but I only want to sing one song. And which I thought was very...
I had my reservations, but that showed me that she's not just out for herself.
Yes, I really liked that move of her. But when Will found out, he got pissy at Gunnar, then he got pissy at Alana, and just because he's going...
I'm not a charity case.
Yeah. Yeah, when I thought she was out there, she wasn't doing it out of pity. I mean, she was doing it to be a good team player and as a good band member. And obviously something's going on with him. He's still doing the steroids. He's still doing this. But there's
he looked, remember he like Googled the symptoms of whatever
tapering
rage he has.
Yeah, because there was one point where he like went to go get his like protein shake and he almost like collapsed in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so they're on the bus. They're going to the Chew. Hootie Hoo's hair looked weird. I like her hair up.
I know. Like, why didn't she say Hootie Hoo?
And she needed to say Hootie Hoo. It's so weird because that like several months ago there were 5 hosts of that show and now they're down to 3.
I know.
So
Clinton Kelly
and Michael Simon and Hootie Hoo. And they introduced the band, and so they performed the Will song, and of course Will looks all sweaty and gross and not good, and he goes crazy with his guitar solo, and then he passes out, and they're like, he has no heartbeat, and then we see
the ambulance comes.
And he's not dead. Of course he's not dead. But they needed to leave off with that like for the mid-season finale.
They need to give Scarlett lots of steroids, and maybe she'll die from her steroids.
But I don't know. I feel like Will's whole like super bitter steroid, not good enough storyline is really dumb.
It seems so disingenuous because it doesn't seem like Will. Like Will was kind of not really the guy to care about that stuff, and suddenly that's all he's obsessing over. I guess maybe because he had the breakup with Zach.
And I think that's the angle they're trying to go at, is that they're trying to do this with him because of that breakup. But I feel like it seems so disingenuous with this character that we've seen all the way up till now. Because he was introduced towards the end of season 1, or was it season 2?
Yeah, because other than being gay and hiding his gayness at the beginning, he was pretty easy breezy.
Yeah. So I almost feel like, we need something to do with Will. I hate when shows do this, when they will change the personality of a character to fit the storyline that they want.
Yeah. I guess they couldn't get him addicted to like cocaine because they've already had drug addicts and shit, so they went for something else.
Steroids. And I feel like of anyone on the cast, like any character, that makes more sense for him to do the whole steroid thing. You know, it'd be fun. Like Daphne comes in, she's like, "Oh, I'm on steroids."
Oh my god, Daphne!
Just give Daphne every storyline. Have Daphne go to Bolivia.
Make Jake like transgendered. That would really make Brad Maitland upset.
Oh my god, that would make him explode. I kind of want to see that happen now.
Is it just me when I look at Brad Maitland? It looks like he's wearing like a horrible disguise.
Yes,
like he's wearing a bad wig and like fake glasses.
Well, what's weird is that they pretty much do that to that guy. I think the beard might be fake. The nose looks fake. The glasses, like his hair's covering.
He looks like he's wearing like Groucho Marx glasses and nose every time I look at him.
I'm pretty sure he's Renata's husband in Big Little Lies.
Yes. Yeah, and he looks normal on that show.
Yes, and I've seen him on 24, a lot of different things. So here, he almost looks like the Unabomber or something. I don't know what's going on. Just give him a hood.
Yeah, he's so bizarre looking.
What does he think he is, Paul Bettany? But what I think is weird about Brad Maitland is like he's been a main cast member this entire season. And I think before this week's episode, he's had like 2 minutes of screen time the entire time.
Yeah, that's like you see him for like 2 minutes every 3 episodes.
Yeah, he had more time this week. And I think, and I was always wondering if they were going to ramp up his usage. I think we're going to get a lot more of him in the final 8 episodes.
Especially with the show going on, yeah.
Yeah, with the show, with the Deacon stuff, with Jesse. Yeah, I think Jake could be transgender possibly. He's got kind of girl. I mean, he would work as a girl. He's got girlish features.
Yeah. Very feminine. You never know. Yeah, I mean, maybe the character could even just be gay. And
Yeah,
that could be
that's
one of the
true, too.
reasons why his
Oh,
dad is
that
so
would drive.
like maybe
that
the
would-
dad suspects that, and that's why he kind of despises him, and he wants him to toughen up and not be so because Jesse's too nice on him and babies him, right? Is what he says.
Yeah, that's what his rap is going to be. Was probably about. I don't know. So that's Nashville. We're done with it for now. It'll be back in the June 7th for its final 8 episodes. Kind of wish they just burned them off now, but we'll have to wait a few more months to see how everything wraps up. Yay, Nashville. Let's go ahead and talk about another show that is ending tonight, and it has only been on for the last 2.5, 3 weeks, and that is Celebrity Big Brother.
I've enjoyed it. It's
Brother.
been a good, solid season.
You know what I liked about it? The fact it was 3 weeks long. It's not a.
That's why I like the UK version too.
Yeah, it's not a big commitment. Yes, it's on a lot of days a week.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was that bad though. But it was. It's just 3 weeks and you're done. It's not a long commitment. I felt like the cast was pretty good. I felt like they were there to play the game. They got for the most part, a Big Brother experience, and I thought it was pretty good.
What I like too is, I mean, other than meta, it seems like most of the people understand how the game is played.
Yes.
So I feel like at the end, they're not going to be completely bitter and just vote because somebody, hurt my feelings, so I'm not going to vote for them. I think that they're really going to look at gameplay, and that depending on who's in the final, a good winner is going to win.
Yeah, so we got our final 5 right now. And our final 5 is Marissa, oh my God, Ariadna, Mark McGrath, Ross Matthews, and Omarosa. So that is
and
our
Mark
final
McGrath.
5.
Did you say Mark McGrath?
Mark McGrath, yes.
Okay.
So that is our final 5. And what's going to happen is that there's 2 of them nominated right now. And one's going to get eliminated towards the beginning of the episode tonight. And then those 4 will, the remaining final 4 will compete for HOH. The winner of the HOH will then eliminate 2 people on the spot and pick the one person they want to go to the final 2 with. And then the ousted house guests will then vote for the winner. So based on that format, who do you think is going to win at this final
4? I mean, looking at the people that have won challenges, there's only 3 of them that have really won challenges, right? Ariadna, Ross, and Omarosa.
Omarosa, and Ross.
The way the game works is usually somebody who's never won always wins near the end. So there's a good chance that Marissa could win a challenge tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hoping Ross wins. To me, he's the ultimate player this season so far.
I think Ross is the one that deserves it. If I go from top to bottom, I would say Ross probably deserves the win the most. And then I would actually probably tie Ariadna and Omarosa. You know what? Maybe the slight edge.
I was going to say Omarosa would be my second, which is surprising because I really didn't think I would support her. But she's played a pretty good game.
Yeah, she came in. I assume she really must be a fan because I think she knew how to play the game. She knew she made waves a couple times, but
but nothing
she was
like
good.
We expected. We thought she'd go in there like a diva and throw fits and yell at people, and she really never did.
If she wasn't a super fan, I have a feeling maybe she would have come in that way. But I think she knew what to do and how to act.
Yeah,
and that was really smart of her.
I like Marissa as a person, but I really don't think her game. There was enough. Because there's still, no matter what you look like, no matter what you are, I still think you have to win at least a challenge. If you don't win a challenge, in my opinion, you don't deserve a win.
But would you say Mark won a challenge?
No.
Because, he
didn't really win that challenge.
He didn't win that
challenge. But he was an HOH, and he did get blood on his hands. He still had to put up people for eviction, and he still got somebody out of the house. Yeah. And he got a big player.
I don't know. I feel like Mark and Marissa are definitely at the bottom of who I think deserves to win.
Yeah.
I would maybe give Marissa the slight edge. But I think we're going to see Mark in that final 2 because I think everybody's going to see him as the easiest target to beat. And sometimes you should not underestimate those people.
Well, that's true. You can look at him as an underdog right from the beginning because there was the Girls Alliance. He managed to stay there. He was never a real target through the whole game. Got to respect that too. For Marissa, I'll just say this, even though she never was HOH or she was never a POV winner and she never got blood directly on her hands, she did backstab people. So she had to make some strategic moves that could have hurt her. And, took some kind of, bravery. Like Shannon was her friend before she got in there.
Yeah.
And she cut Shannon.
And same thing with Brandi and Ross, is that they knew each other pretty well going into that too.
Yeah.
But with Marissa, though, she was the last person to ever sit on the block. And I feel like that's kind of a good...
Yeah.
That's good game right there. If you go that long and you're the last person to have to sit on the block, you're doing something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a case for every one of the 5 to potentially be a winner. I would be, if any of them win, I'm not going to be mad. Really?
No.
I mean, I think I'd be the most disappointed if Mark wins, but I'm not going to be mad.
That would be, I think the only disappointing winner for me would be Mark.
Yeah. I'm definitely rooting for Ross, but if Omarosa or Ariadne win, I'll be fine with that too.
Yeah, I think those are my 3 favorite. Now, who do you think is going to get America's favorite? I think it'll be Ross.
I think it'll be Ross.
Yeah,
Ross is funny. People like him just in the house, and then his diary rooms are really funny.
Yeah, and I think he kind of comes across as
like
almost the every person. Like, this would be me in the house. I would be similar too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think he's the most relatable.
Me, ever since he first came to the public eye, he always came across as genuine. Like, I don't think that's an act. I think that's Ross.
Yeah. So, I feel like
Ross is.
Yeah. I kind of want to see Marissa win though, because I would like anything but the entire show, because I want to see her like 9-year-old son explode.
Oh, he would just be hysterical crying.
That's what I want to see. I want to see this 9-year-old boy just explode in tears. And then put him in the house the next season they do Celebrity Big Brother.
Now remember, Julie said in an interview this week that it might become an annual thing, because if they can find a spot for it in the lineup, they would do it again. I guess ratings have been good. It's had the best ratings other than the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? Now, nothing else was on.
Yeah, nothing else was on, but being up against the Olympics. I mean, man, the Olympics are always a powerhouse. I think the ratings are down a little bit this year. But
I heard they were down.
To go up against the Olympics takes some balls, and it's not getting crushed. Bachelor Winter Games got crushed. This is holding its own, and I think that is a good sign that they can maybe the first 2 weeks, last week, sorry, I cannot speak, like between right after Thanksgiving to the week before Christmas, I think would be a good window to do something.
Yeah, it's kind of a dead time, and then the people can still be out in time for their actual holiday, right?
Or I think the first 3 weeks in
3 to.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, January. Is that what you're going to say? The first 3 weeks of January?
Yes. Yeah. Say that. I think that would be another time to do that. But yeah, it'll be, or even again, that wouldn't get him a lot of time to prepare for the regular season, but maybe the 3 or 4 weeks before in June, before the new season would move in, I think could be a possibility too. Because I don't think they make the house much of a mess. Yeah.
No, they have the basic house too, right? You have just a basic house. So all you'd have to do is you have everything pre-planned. You have your designers have everything pre-planned. So it's just a matter of literally going in and flipping it. They do it on the UK version. They have the summer cast, and then at the end of the summer, they wait 1 week, and then the celebrities go in to the house.
So
it's easy to do. They can do it.
And they did that when they did Over the Top. I heard an interview where they're like, it was too much work for us. Tough. It's a week. You can do it. You did it. You can do it. Wham. You work 1 season a year.
Yeah. Well, I liked it. I really liked it. I love the UK version too. I do hope that it becomes an annual thing, because it is kind of nice to see. I mean, granted, these weren't super celebrities. We're not talking about Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Aniston.
These are bigger stars than I think they would get in the UK.
Absolutely. I mean, you had some really well-known people in there. Ross Matthews might not be an A-list celebrity, but most people know who he is. Mark McGrath was in a big band. He's a known person. He still works on radio, Sirius Radio, every week. I hear him.
Yeah, I do too. This is my 90s mystery hour, whatever he calls it.
But you know what I mean? we've already said Meta World Peace. Like that guy has a freaking, championship ring.
You look at like Chuck Liddell.
This is not just
in his field.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell
was a big name.
Biggest star in his field.
Yeah. And then some little
maybe Conor McGregor is bigger now, but at the time, Chuck Liddell was.
I think he was one of the first big
that got people into that. A lot of people turned into UFC fighting because of Chuck Liddell.
Yeah. And then some little person.
Yeah, there was some big stars.
Yeah, some little person I've never heard before called Omarosa. I don't know what she was from or where she worked.
I never heard of that person. Yeah. So, I mean, they did get some, maybe not completely A+ list, but you definitely didn't have D. A lot of those people were like, B.
Yeah.
Because even Brandi Glanville, she might not be a household name. She's on a top reality show, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, The Housewives of Beverly Hills is a show that people watch a lot. I don't watch it, but a lot of people do.
I would say the most questionable casting may have been James.
Yeah. James, I really do think was the weakest. Even like Ariadna, I didn't know. I kind of knew who she was, but I wouldn't have known her name. She turned out all right. She turned out really good. And even James, as much as I didn't like him, was a good housemate.
He wasn't a dud. He came in, he did his thing. He added personality to the show, and which is good. But yeah, Ariana, I thought was kind of fascinating because I think she downplayed how smart she was at the game. And
she did.
She really impressed me.
And she hid that physical strength until she needed it.
Yeah, that was really good. So I'd be okay with them. So yeah, that finale is going to be tonight, a Celebrity Big Brother. I would totally watch another season. I actually would rather watch another season of this than a full summer regular season. Last night's episode, which was a recap, or was it Friday? One of those episodes, either last night or Friday night, they had a casting commercial. Be like, hey, if you're crazy, wild, and stupid, you can come and be in the Big Brother house. I'm like, oh god.
Did you get your tape ready?
Yeah, I mailed it out already. I'm hoping Brad Maitland sees it.
Yes. You're playing your guitar creepily in the hallway.
Yes. Creeping on everyone. That's probably how I would be in the Big Brother house. I'd be just creeping in doorways.
If we ever make a power band, our band has to be called like Creeper or something like that.
Daphne creeping in the doorway.
Yes, perfect.
Let's also go ahead and talk about another Netflix show which began last week, and it is called Everything Sucks. And you know what?
Oh, what a good show.
You know one thing about Everything Sucks? It did not suck.
It did not suck. I like this kind of, with Stranger Things and Everything Sucks. And there's some, I can't think of the other shows, but like kind of this throwback to like my generation. I'm an 80s and 90s. I was an adult in the 90s for the most part, but like that feeling that they have. I love this. I love the music. I love the feeling that before cell phones. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you really can tell a story when the story does not have to involve cell phones or the internet.
Yeah, as soon as the show started, I was hooked because I feel like there's definitely been more 80s nostalgia than 90s nostalgia shows. This is a show that it takes place in the fall in 96. We're following our main kids are freshmen, but other characters there is a sophomore, junior, and I assume Oliver was a senior. That's what it made it sound like, he was a senior, the drama kid. And I was a junior the fall of 96. So I was able to have that connection right away. This took place in the Pacific Northwest. I was in the Northwest till like 94. So that was another kind of connection I was able to have. And granted, my high school experience wasn't like this at all, but there was enough there where I'm like, this feels a lot like what high school was for me at that time.
Yeah. And like I said, cool. My high school was nothing like that, but there was still enough. And like I said, I went to high school in the 80s, graduated in 91, but there was still enough of, I don't know, just the kids, I guess, just that story, that feel is universal. Right. Yeah.
So it was really a well done show. So we had 10 episodes. They're all like in the 20-minute long range, 22, 26 minutes. So it's
you can like watch that in a day, guys.
Very quick binge, very fast binge. Our main character is Luke, and he lives in Boring, Oregon, and he is a freshman, goes to Boring High, and he lives with his single mom. Their dad left them when he was younger.
She's a flight
And
attendant.
she's a flight
So
attendant.
she's gone
and
quite a bit. Yeah.
And so she's not there a lot. And he's kind of a movie nut, a filmmaker. And his two best friends are Tyler and McQuaid.
McQuaid.
I love Tyler.
McQuaid. I love them both.
Like
you know what? I love everybody.
Yeah.
I really love everybody.
Yeah, there really wasn't a weak point. And they're just your nerdy kids. They aren't really into
AV
girls yet.
Club.
But yeah, they go into AV Club,
girls.
and they
want to be into girls.
They want to be into girls, but the girls are not into them yet. And so Luke meets Kate at AV Club, and also one of my favorite characters was Scott Pocket, one of the AV guys, because when I think of a person I went to high school with, it was Scott Pocket with that stupid '90s middle part hair, trying to look all cool.
Little mushroom cut almost, yes.
Scott Pocket was the typical high school student when I was in high school. And I loved his co-host lady girl. I don't know her name, but I love when I think Jessica Betts. And when he's like, "Hi, I'm Scott Pocket," and she's like, "Scott Pocket." I don't know why it was funny. But
she reminded me of somebody, and I don't know who, but she was a good little kind of secondary character.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the secondary characters were really good too, because you had Leslie.
Is he a teacher? What's the guy? McCool? Is that what they called him? The guy who ran the AV Club?
He ran the AV Club. I couldn't tell if he was a teacher or not, but I mean, obviously he must have been, because he was their chaperone when they went to California.
That's true, yeah.
Mr. Stargrowth. And he's actually one of the creators of the show.
Oh, is he? Okay, he's good. I like him.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun. He kind of almost gave me I can't think of that guy's name. TJ Miller vibe, but better.
Yeah, less creepy.
As loser. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Luke meets Kate and automatically falls in love with Kate. Kate is a sophomore, so one grade above Luke, and he just madly falls in love. But there's a complication. Kate is dealing with her sexuality.
Yeah, she's not sure what's going on.
She's not sure. She's dealing with it. I thought the first scene was the first episode had an interesting scene when she's looking at magazines with women in them in her bedroom.
Yes.
And her dad comes in, and there's this moment of silence, and she's like, and then he's like, then what does he say? He's like, "Oh, they send such a unrealistic view of beauty."
Yeah, he doesn't realize that she's sexually attracted. He thinks she's feeling bad about how she looks because she doesn't look like the girls in the magazine.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting scene.
Yeah.
And of course,
her dad is awesome too.
Her dad is the school principal, and he's just. Yeah. And you know what kind of depressed me about the show? In a show that took place when I went to high school, the character I think I identified with most was the principal, was the adult.
the widowed principal.
The widowed adult. He just always had this fake happy sheen on, and always And there's a scene.
I get that.
He comes home all happy. He's singing "Breakfast at Tiffany's." Because he gets involved with Luke's mom, and that becomes a plot point throughout the show. I thought they were kind of cute together. I liked them together.
They were. I love them. Power couple.
Yeah. And then, but speaking of Breakfast at Tiffany's, I know that one thing you liked about Glow so much was the 80s music. I loved the 90s music that they used in Everything Sucks.
Yeah. I mean, half the songs I liked, half of them I didn't. But, they played a lot of Oasis. They played Breakfast at Tiffany's. That hardcore song that was in the trailer of the movie, I did not know, and that scared me.
Oh, yeah. That was weird. Yeah, that was weird. I did not know that either. I like The Freshman is a good song. The Impression That I Get, which is what the whole show starts out with. I really like that song. It sounds like if it gets picked up for more seasons, eventually we'll hear some Third Eye Blind. And some other good songs. So I thought it was a really well done show. You also had. Yeah, I didn't really like the drama, especially the first couple episodes with the drama kids when they start doing drama in the middle of lunch. I kind of
loved that. It was so unlikely, but I just loved that. They were so they would make their own Shakespeare speeches. I know it wasn't Shakespeare, but they would try to talk like they were doing Shakespeare. Yeah. Thou doth this looking, or whatever. I loved it. I thought they were so overly dramatic and ridiculous.
I thought that was weird, but it was good. It was an interesting, it was fun. And the AV Club, the drama club, they're kind of at odds. something happens throughout the show where they team up together to work on something. And so while we have like the character moments, there's an overarching story that kind of goes along with the 10 episodes with the season that I think works.
I really love this. Is not going to spoil anything for people listening. I loved the part where Kate takes Luke to the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's towards the end, right?
Yeah, I think it's in the second last episode.
Yeah. That was good. And I think that was kind of, yeah.
That was really like probably one of my favorite scenes. Yeah, there was some like great little moments too, like just some like when you get some characters, by themselves with another character, and you're just kind of like, wow, good acting. And I already said this to you previously. The actor playing Luke has that kid's gonna be a star. If he keeps acting, he's got charisma coming off the screen.
There's something very charming and likable about him, even when his character necessarily wasn't the most likable and not doing the most likable things. Yeah. There's just something about that actor who was just...
You root for him and just, there's some charisma, star quality, something. If he keeps up, if he really wants to do it, he could be a star.
And they're all young. They're all the ages of the characters. They're all 14, 15.
Yeah.
So it's not like they cast like Luke Perry, like, to play a teenager.
Exactly.
So they felt real and they felt good. It's kind of probably weird for them doing all these like 90s references, being like, what is this? What is Surge?
When they had to use like the answering machine and stuff.
All that in a bag of chips.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever said in my life until right this second. The answering machines and all that stuff, because when we were in high school we didn't have cell phones.
No, there wasn't a cell phone. It literally was calling up. Can I speak to Luke?
Mm-hmm.
Or can I speak to whatever Kate? Like that's what you did. You didn't have a cell phone to call.
I was so awkward. I hated it. I didn't do that very often because I hated calling people. I still do. Like even when it's for like business and for work, I hate calling people. But no.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are like that, I find.
But yeah, it was a really, really well done show, and hopefully we'll get more episodes to come. As far as I know, this is it for now, but I bet they'll order more.
I think so. I think that show is going to be an automatic hit, and I think we'll have at least a season 2.
I hope so. The cast is so good. And the one thing that I read a lot of reviews are like, oh, they hit us over the head with all these 90s references. I don't care. I like that.
I like that. That's the point of setting a show in the 90s, right? Yeah. Like, if you're watching a show from now, you're going to see tons of references. They're going to talk about Kardashians. They're going to talk about, whatever, Selena Gomez. If you're in the 90s, you're going to talk about 90s things.
Yeah, and I thought it worked. I really liked that. And again, like I said earlier, there's not a lot of 90s nostalgia shows. You got Stranger Things, Goldbergs. I'm sure there's others for the 80s. So it's nice that we're finally getting something.
Well, there was that Goldberg's 90s show that I don't think is going to get picked up because it was awful.
Well, it was for this fall. This last fall, and it didn't. So they made it a year ago, and it didn't get picked up. Okay. My guess is they just had that episode just sitting around, and they're like, "Let's frame it as a Goldbergs episode and just burn it off."
Yeah.
And I never watched it. I had no desire to. It just
I didn't like it. There's also Fresh Off the Boat is set in the 90s.
What is?
But it's not super Fresh Off the Boat.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
But that's not super nostalgic to me. Like, there's some references and stuff, but it's not. It doesn't have the same feel like the Goldbergs has for me, or even Everything Sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, Everything Sucks is on Netflix. It does not suck. Yeah. It is a good show. 10 very short episodes, super quick binge, and I recommend it.
And so that'll be it. We won't be on next week because Justin's going on a vacation.
Yay.
Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully I'll be on tomorrow night. I don't know yet. I'm going to the dentist. Who knows what's happening? I may not be able to talk. No. But if I'm on tomorrow night with Arthur and Ryan, have a good week otherwise.
See you later.
Bye.